Hey, you guys. I'm going to continue with my review of the end of knockout rounds for The Voice Season 10 and discuss the team standings. So we're about to go into the live playoffs next week, and just kind of wanted to give you an overall view of my feelings on the remaining contestants on each team. So I'm going to start with Team Adam, so I'm going to do this alphabetically, but Xtina is going to be like with an X instead of a C, so, just in case you were wondering why she's not going to be third. We're going to save the best for last, right? All right, so Team Adam has Shalyah Fearing, Nhira, Owen Danoff, Laith Al-Saadi, and Caroline Burns. So unless they change something, there's going to be the playoffs. Two are going to get voted in by America, and then the coach is going to say the last person. Now, I do believe, spoiler alert, I'm not going to say who or anything like that, but they are doing the comeback kids this season, but per last season, it's still the same amount of contestants that make it to the top 12. So we'll see. So based on what I've seen so far, and this could change when I see playoff rounds, these are the three people I'm going to state the three people from each team that I think should make the top 12 and why. And with Shalyah, she's like a definite. Like, to me, there's no reason in the world why she shouldn't make the top 12. Yeah, I just don't see it. I actually think that she will get the votes. I mean, she's a favorite of a lot of people, and I think that she'll get it. I'd be a little bit nervous if she didn't get the votes and we have to leave it up to Adam to make sure that he chooses her. But I feel like she'll get the votes. At least I'm hoping. I'll be voting for her. I know that much. But she's a must-have on the team. And I'm not really quite sure what Adam is going to do with her because he's never really had an artist like Shalyah, like a young, black, female, soulful singer on his team. So I'm not really sure how he's going to navigate with her. But I feel and I am telling you type of performance coming my way from her. I feel like big songs for a little girl type of thing coming my way. And I have to say, I'm not completely mad if she sings And I'm Telling You. It's kind of played out, but she could tear that thing up. So I'm not even mad. But she definitely needs to be in that top 12. She just has to be there. Period. The others, none of them are definites. I'm not invested enough in them to really necessarily care, but choosing the other two, I would pick Bryan and Owen. And Bryan, for me, he's been a little inconsistent. He showed greatness. Like, I loved his battle round with Abby when he sang Sugar. But he's also showed kind of mediocrity. And I wasn't sold on his blind when he sang Happy. And his knockout round was iffy. I think his fate will definitely depend on his knockout round performance. But I think he should be there at this particular point in time. I think he needs to sing an emotionally charged song, but not a cheesy one. I think that he needs to, he's African, like connect with his African roots, like sing something empowering and sing something, that displays your culture. I would like to watch that personally. And Owen, I think that he's definitely making the top 12. Like, it's not only because I kind of like pick him to be there. I think that he definitely will be there. But like I've said before, he'll continue to get boring amongst dynamic singers and performers. It's just so much talent this season. So we'll see. Laith, if he stays with the rock element, I think maybe he could bump Owen or Bryan. And Caroline, if we're choosing one 15-year-old over the other, we're choosing Shalyah, right? Okay, I'm just checking. Moving right along to Team Blake. Adam Wakefield, he's a lock. He's a lock. He's probably going to be in the finale. Like, I mean, it just is what it is. But I love his voice, and I'm definitely not mad if he's there. He's, like, in my top 4 right now. Like, it's ridiculous. I believe he can sing anything: country, blues, rock, soul, R&B, even pop if it's the right song. The sky's the limit with his voice because he has so many layers. So I hope that Blake explores all the sides of his voice and doesn't just pigeonhole him into the country realm. I'd actually love to hear Adam sing like some Ray Charles, because that Bring It On Home to me just gave me that Ray Charles vibe. Now, my next one that I want to be in Blake's top 3 is Joe May. And this is a controversial placement, as I'm not sure if he'll be able to get into that top 12. But if Joe can rein it in and deliver songs that suit his voice, like his voice kind of reminds me of John Legend. If we want to take it back old school, it reminds me of David Ruffin from The Temptations. He could maybe be saved. I don't think that he'll get the votes on Blake's team to stay. I actually really love Joe's voice, as I mentioned earlier, but it can get a little wild at times. His voice is very rough and, sexy. I mentioned that earlier. And, but he's not the type of singer who can sing anything, and his falsetto is a little weak. So he has to pick songs that's going to showcase that raspy quality of his voice, that husky tone. Don't give him songs that are sung by singers who sing smooth. Like, don't give him like a Luther Vandross song. He's not that type of singer. Don't give him that kind of song. I'd actually love to hear him sing Try a Little Tenderness. I think that song would really work for him. I Wish It Would Rain by The Temptations. It's like one of my favorite Temptations songs. David Ruffin sings lead on that. Like, that would work. I just hope that Blake doesn't saddle him with a bullshit song that'll automatically get him kicked out. I just hope that doesn't happen. And then the third spot, this could be flip-flop, but right now I have Caity there. And I've had Maye ahead of her the entire time. But I think Caity is better suited at this particular time to round out the final 3. I know Blake is stuck on All Country all the time, but if he wants the best of both worlds, female-wise, I think he should go with Caity. Now, in terms of performance-wise, I've only really liked one performance of Caity's also, and that was her Battle Round, Maybe I'm Amazing. I've only really liked one performance of Mary Sarah's, and that was her Blinds. So, actually they're kind of neck and neck in a way. There is still a chance that both of them can make it, and it'll be an all-country team. I feel like Blake is trying to branch into new territory and have a more diverse team going into the top 12. But at the end of the day, we all know Blake, so we can never get too excited about that. And then Paxton, I mentioned this last week. I haven't really been feeling him like that. He's definitely a competent singer, but he's a bit boring and bland to me. I don't see him making it on Blake's team past the playoffs, but stranger things have happened. I'm not counting anything out on this show. But I would still choose Joe over Paxton if it came down to it. All right, so Team Pharrell. All the ladies. He has all the ladies. So Caity Peters, I would like for her to be in there as long as she sings the right song. We'll see in the playoffs, but as of right now, I put Caity in there. She went up to the top of my list with that knockout performance. She's one of my favorites overall. And my fave on Team Pharrell right now. That could change. If she keeps singing these emotionally charged songs and delivering them in the honest way that she does, she could definitely be a dark horse that can knock some of these front runners out. But she also, like Joe, is not the type of singer that can sing anything. Her tone is special. It's suited for certain types of songs. So I didn't care for her battle round performance. So song choice is really, really going to be important for her. Hannah Huston. Solid performer, another person that I think should definitely make the top 12. Maybe Hannah should be my favorite on Team Pharrell, and vocally she does have the best voice on his team, but she's at arm's length for me just a bit. And I felt that way about her since her audition. It's crazy because I really did love her audition. I feel like she puts kind of on this like soul facade, like it's not authentic, and she's like the most plain Jane looking white girl, but then like she sings soul, but it seems like a practiced kind of thing, like too rehearsed, like too contrived. And but she can sing. Don't get me wrong, don't get it twisted. And I'm always impressed by what she does. I really am. I've liked every one of her performances, but it's just something that I'm just not connecting with, and I can't like really put my finger on it. I'm definitely not mad that she's still there. She deserves to be. I just really want to see what she is naturally as a vocalist or as an artist versus what I feel she's trying to be artistically. Actually, Caity and Hannah, is apples and oranges in, the flip a coin. One may perform great, one may perform not so great. But I will say this, Hannah is consistent. And Caity has shown a little sides of inconsistency during the battle round. But maybe that's only because she was singing with someone else. So, maybe that's not going to be the norm. So we'll see. And the third spot I'd give to Moushumi. Because I do love her tone. But since she has a specific style of singing, she needs to pick the right songs. Again, the right songs, song choice. I'm not invested in her enough to be mad if Emily or Lacy or even Pharrell's potential comeback artist takes her spot. But based on what I've seen, she should round out the three. The three. But I think that I'm hoping that she can bring it. Emily Keener, I haven't really cared too much for her the entire time. I mean, her knockout round was the best I've heard her sound, but her voice is an acquired taste. I don't really care for it. Based on what I see and hear on the blogs, she doesn't seem like a favorite either. So I don't think she's getting the votes, and I don't think if it came down to it, Pharrell would pick her. But Pharrell is unpredictable. He's the most unpredictable coach on this show. So you better hope you get the votes when you're on Pharrell's team. All I gotta say. But he did make a very smart decision in season 8, and he picked Corinne. So we'll see. And Lacy, I did love her battle. Her blind was montage, but when I heard her studio recording, it wasn't as that impressive to me. And her knockout round was a no-no to me. So unless she kills her playoff performance, she has zero chance of making it. All right, now we're saving the best for last. Team Xtina. Whoop, whoop. So we have Bryan Bautista. He's my favorite contestant overall right now. He just has everything going for him. As I mentioned before, great voice, good looks, contemporary, marketable. He can dance, he has rhythm. He can make a record right now. Like, he can be out there. It is what it is. He just needs to give the element of surprise as he did in the battle. People weren't expecting that from him, so it worked. And he's a favorite of many right now, but that can quickly change as the talent pool is deep this season. And if he keeps singing current pop, I mentioned this earlier, like Justin Bieber, The Weeknd, I feel like he won't make it past 8th or 10th place. So he needs to stay in the soul lane with the contemporary flair. That's what I feel like. I just want to hear him sing to me like, for lack of a better word, he needs to be singing like baby making music. Like, let's just put it out there, get it straight. Like, I need like Jodeci, like Luther mixed with like H-Town, R. Kelly, and Maxwell. Like, I need all of that. That's what I need. That's what I need from him. So we'll see what he's able to do. I'm hoping that Xtina will help him and hopefully steer him away from songs that don't really showcase his voice, because he has an amazing voice. And it's like we've seen, like, every week he gives us a little something and then a little something else. He always leaves you wanting more, which is great. But, I think that Xtina needs to go in there and be like, look, we ain't singing no more Bieber. We ain't singing no more The Weeknd. No, can that Chris Brown song, because I know he has one coming up. Look, we want to sing songs that'll get you to the win. And Xtina wants to win. So she gonna make sure, I'm hoping that she'll make sure of that. And still, I mentioned this a couple weeks ago, my dream song for him to sing is Maxwell's Whenever, Wherever, Whatever in Spanish. I'll die if he sings this. Probably won't happen, but I did tweet it to him and he favored it or liked it on Twitter or whatever. So maybe there's a chance. Who knows? And then Alisan Porter. She's obviously the chosen one, and with good reason. Her voice has been on point from go, and her range and control is just ridiculous. This girl was obviously born to sing, and it appears she can really, sing anything, unlike a lot of the contestants. Her voice really lends itself to so many different genres: pop, rock, soul, folk, country. All she needs to do is just maintain her momentum, by knowing when to turn it up and when to bring it down. In the playoffs, though, I kind of expect her to pull out like all the stops and show everybody why she's the chosen one, and just be like, look, I'm about to come out here and I'm about to blow this shit out of the water. Like, I just want her to do that. And then after she like belts and goes like, ah, and all of that stuff, then she can, show dynamics and show versatility. But I want to need her to come out with guns blazing to show all of these naysayers, like, I don't really like Alisan. She screeches too much. And show them. That's all I got to say. But I also think that, it's time to hear her sing something current. I want to hear her sing something current. But that'll showcase her voice. But maybe not in the playoffs. Maybe like top 6 weeks. We know she's going to be around. And then they have weeks where they sing more than one song. So she got time. And then the third pick, I would pick Tamar. And she's been pretty solid this season. And although many people think that Ryan is going to be in this spot, I think vocally she's done a better job than Ryan up until this point. And I think that knockout really swayed people more into the Tamar direction versus Ryan. She definitely needs to deliver a flawless vocal to make sure she remains on the show. I don't think that she'll get the votes to make it through. So Xtina is probably going to need to save her, and Tamar needs to make it impossible for her to choose anybody else, barring that Alisan and Bryan will get voted in by the public, because if it came down to Bryan or Tamar, then I need her to pick Bryan, right? So we just getting that clear. But if Bryan gets the votes, Alisan gets the votes, I need her to pick Tamar. Dream songs for her, like, nobody ever sings Tina Marie, but I would love for her to sing Tina Marie because she has the voice for it. She can sing Patty, Tamia, Mariah, whatever. Big diva voices all over. But I just want her to sing songs that are not so obvious. Like, I don't want to hear her sing I Will Always Love You or I Have Nothing. I don't want to hear her sing those songs. I want her to stay in the R&B realm, though. But I do want her to challenge herself. I don't want her to be like, oh, I'm going to sing a Taylor Swift song or a Britney Spears song and I'm going to flip it into No. Just sing an R&B song. Just sing it. Sing Deborah Cox, Nobody's Supposed to Be Here. Sing it. Just sing it. Challenge yourself. Do the big guns. So that's what I need from her. Now, Ryan, he's the wild card in terms of it could be Tamar or Ryan. He could completely kill it in the playoffs and get voted into the top 12. And if he kills it, I can't be mad, which means that one of my faves will be out. Don't get me wrong, I do like Ryan, but his choice of song in the knockout round was very questionable. Tamar is a fighter to me. Like, she's definitely fighting for her place. And I already mentioned, if it comes down to them two, I would hope that Xtina would pick Tamar. Seniority on her team, so maybe that'll help for something. Kata, I really didn't like her battle and don't remember much of her blind except for her kissing Xtina, but her knockout was pretty damn good. With that being said, Xtina's team is just way too damn deep, and she really doesn't have a chance unless she miraculously gets the votes and gets voted in by the public, which I don't think will happen. Although Xtina has been known to make bad decisions when it comes to this stage of the competition. However, I think that Xtina is in it to win it this season. And it doesn't make any sense with the other members of the team to move forward with Kata. Because Kata, in my opinion, is the only member of Team Xtina that really doesn't have a chance to win. I think that the other four genuinely have a chance to win. And I almost wish, and I've said this before on The Voice, but they have to do this team thing, so I'll give them that. But I feel like when it gets to the playoffs, and I know they do it in the top 12, but I feel like when it gets to the playoffs, we should just vote. Like, we should just vote and let whoever makes the top 12 make the top 12. Like, just whoever makes it from any team. Like, I kind of feel like it should be like that. That would be hella scary a little bit, but I would like for it to be like that. Or, wait, no, that's the way that it would have to be. Yeah, it would have to be like that. Like, because the coaches have so many opinions and they make so many choices, and we finally want to get the opportunity to vote, and they're going to do double eliminations anyway. So I just wish that top 12 was solely determined by us and it didn't matter which team anybody was on. And I feel like that would ensure that Team Xtina is definitely staying, because everybody loves Team Xtina this season. So they're definitely going to be voting for her artist. The problem is when it becomes a team thing, people are splitting their votes 3 and 4 ways on Team Xtina. that, you know, who's going to make it on her team. So what's going to happen for me, and I hate this, I'm going to have to choose my favorite from Team Xtina and vote for just that one person. That's how it's going to happen. This is how it's going to have to happen, because I have to make sure that my favorite makes it through. You know, because normally I would vote for whoever I like, but now I'm like, yo, my favorite got to make it through. Like, I have to vote for Bryan. Like, he has to get voted through. Like, I can't deal with the possibility of Xtina. She's been doing good. She's been doing great job. But for some reason in these playoffs, I get nervous. The last season that she was on, I think she did a good job with picking. But in prior seasons that she was on, his playoff picks were not. So we will see. And I will see you next week. I will see you later on this week, because it is the American Idol finale. So I will be recapping the finale. But of those of you who maybe only watch The Voice, I'll see you next week for the live playoffs. So speaking of playoffs, did you see that NCAA tournament? That buzzer beater by Villanova? What? Philly in the house? Okay, I'm done. Bye. Totally off topic.